Okay, so our next topic is about Web 1.0, Web 2.0, Web 3.0, convergent technologies, and social, mobile, and assistive media po. Okay, so let's start. So a brief history about internet. So actually, it comes from the word ARPanet. So ARPaNet means or stands for Advanced Research Project Agency Network, and it came from Mr. Charles M. Herzfeld. Was funded by United States military after the Cold War, was considered as a forerunner of the internet. Well, it aims to have a military command and control center that could withstand nuclear attacks. So before guys, we all know naman siguro na yung telephones natin, even yung mga network devices po natin, and the internet is used in the war or military purposes lang talaga. And as time goes by, since technology is improving from time to time, so ngayon, from generation to generation, na-adopt na natin na magkaroon tayo ng ating internet connection din. Even tayo pong mga normal na people. So, meron tayong tinatawag na triple W dot or World Wide Web. And it was led by Tim Berners-Lee. So, he defines the HTML as hypertext markup language. It is a tool used to create web pages. So the development lasted for 2 years, starting from 1989 to 1991. So as you can see dito sa baba, makikita natin si HTML. So anyway, if you are not familiar sa HTML, it is a tool or it is so it is a tool used for creating web pages and web as well as websites po. So HTML po yung ginagamit. So through the use of HTML, nakapag-create po tayo ng web page po or even websites. So anyway, meron tayong HTML. So yung first HTML1 natin with the logo of Internet Explorer, then HTML2, then there's HTML3 with the CSS, the design of it. So nag-i-improve nag-i-improve until now na gumagamit na po tayo ng HTML5 po. So explain lang natin what is the evolution of World Wide Web. So first, meron po tayong 1.0. It only allows to search for information and read it. So the interaction between the users and the web is very limited. So during the times, ang nagagawa lang ng Web 1.0 natin is to search for information. So maybe finding some articles or finding some news about something in Web 1.0. So wala pa pong social interaction, wala pa pong Facebook, wala pa pong social media before. It is just used to read some information. So yun po si Web 1.0. Now, as time goes by, nakapag-improve na po si technology and nagkaroon po tayo ng Web 2.0. This one, it allows users to interact with the web pages. There is a dynamic content towards it. Now, take note of this. Web 2.0 allowed the creation of web browsers due to their user interfaces, application software, and file storage. So, that is Web 2.0 po. So as you can see dito, meron na siyang interaction. And in this one, dito na po nagkaroon ng mga different social media sites such as Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and so on. So nagkaroon na po ng interaction towards the other ng Web 1.20. Now, what are the features of Web 1.20? First is the Folksonomy. It allows the users to categorize and classify information through tagging. Popular social networking sites use tags and freely chosen keywords to activate the features of it. So that is one feature of Web 2.0. Next is the rich user experiences. Web contents is responsive to users' input in social networking sites. When logged on your account, it is used to modify what you see in the social media platform. So, as well as one good example of this one, both of them, is Facebook. Okay, so this is the example of Folksonomy triangle and the user experiences. Okay, and as time goes by, nagkaroon na ng user participation towards it. So some websites allow readers to comment on an article, participate in a poll, or review a specific product. Users are able to place a content of their own by means of comments, reviews, and evaluation. Now before, nung nagkaroon na ng mga social media, of course before hindi pa naman tayo pwede or hindi pa tayo nakakapag-access ng Facebook natin through our phone. So before, sa ano lang talaga, sa internet lang talaga, kailangan mo pa mag-laptop, kailangan mo pa mag-computer. So as time goes by, nag-improve yung technology, then nagkaroon na tayo ng mga different user participation, even sa ating mga tablets or even sa ating mobile phones. Nakakapag-interact na tayo, such as creating video contents katulad ng ginagawa ko. I'm sharing video contents about specifically ang target audience ko, mga modular students, para makasali sila, and then about computer related skills. Yun yung contents ko through my media. There are different contents din na nagpapasaya sa atin, nagpapalungkot, minsan kinaiinisan natin. There are different contents with the reviews and the evaluation of it. And also, there is a long tail services. These are services that are offered on demand rather than on a one-time purchase. So, for example, there are file-based pricing and the time-based pricing po. So, one good example nito yung mga businesses that gustong maging part na ng online, mga social media or mga websites na maging part ng online base. So yun yung mga sample po natin ng long tail po. Next is the software as a service. So this is it is a feature that allows you to rent a software rather than installing it in your computer. An example for this is Google Documents. So in this one good example of this again is yung Google Documents, specifically when for example your computer or mga important files like thesis. So para makaiwas tayo na ma-format or makaiwas tayo na bigla na lang mabura yung thesis natin. So maganda na ilalagay natin siya sa Google document natin. Mga Excel files, like for example, mga important details about work or companies, maganda ilalagay natin sa Google Documents yan. We have to make sure lang po na secured po yung Google account po natin. Also, one good example of this one is yung mga ginagamit ng mga ICT ngayon. So, ngayon, yung mga ICT kasi or mga ICT or STEM students, so, kadalasan kasi, hindi naman lahat ng students ngayon ng mga computer-related subjects is merong tool or merong kagamitan para gumawa ng system and so on, or para gumawa ng mga program. So with this, through the software and services, so meron ng mga different social media sites or different sites na pwedeng gamitin yung mga students para makapag-create sila ng mga computer program nila as fast as they can. Or nakapareho lang ng mga software na ginagamit po ng offline. Next is mass participation, diverse information sharing through universal and web access. So, it included yung mga social media sites natin in this one. So, dito naman sa Web 3.0, it is a movement led by World Wide Web Consortium or W3C. It is a like of Web 2.0, but it is used to cater individual users. It also allows data to be shared and reused across application, enterprises, and community boundaries. Take note of this one. The aim of Web 3.0 is to have servers understand the user's preference to be able to deliver web contents, specifically targeting the users. So, one good example of this one is yung mga voice recording po natin. For example, we want to interact talaga. Like for example, we are going to know what is the weather today. So, pwede tayo mag-voice command sa mga phone natin, and then after that, it can quickly access something. So, one good example po yun ng Web 3.0 natin or 3.0 natin. So, limitation of semantic web. First is the compatibility. HTML files and current web browsers could not support Web 3.0. So, limited pa lang yung amount ng sinusuportahan po ng Web 3.0 po natin. Security. Since the server saves user preferences, the user security will be questioned. Of course, it has always been, security has always been questioned, especially in when you are accessing in different social media, or when you are accessing the internet. That is why when you are accessing internet, you have to be careful on what you post online or what you post in your social media platforms, because it could take effect, especially in your private life. The vastness. The World Wide Web already contains billions of web pages. So saying goes, vagueness. The vagueness of words will be questioned due to it being imprecise. So next is the logic. Since machine uses logic, there are certain limitations for a computer to be able to predict what the user is referring to at a given time. So, katulad ng sinabi sa inyo, one good example of this one is yung voice recording po natin. Minsan, pag halimbawa trinay nyo yung voice recording nyo, minsan parang hindi niya maintindihan kung ano yung mga gusto nating sabihin sa kanya. So, my son always voice recording, and actually he's having fun doing it, or instead of typing it kasi hindi pa siya maalam ng mga wording, but pag nagvo-voice recording siya, nagigets naman ni Google at sometimes, pero minsan kasi hindi maintindihan yung mga words niya, kaya minsan napapakamot na lang siya sa ulo, and that is sometimes inaccurate, but hindi naman ibig sabihin nun is lagi nagkakamali siya. Of course, it is still a technology. Minsan, there are times pa rin na meron siyang certain limitation to predict of something. So, the technological convergences, it is the synergy of technological advancement to work on a similar goal or task. Simply put, it is using several technologies to accomplish a task conveniently. One good example of this one. So, one good example of this one is creating words, documents, using your tablets or smartphones, syncing files from one devices to another, and the file torrent po. So, that is an example of technological convergence po. So, social media. Of course, we are familiar with our social media. So, ano nga ba si social media? It is a website application or online channel that enables web users to create, co-create, discuss, modify, and exchange user-generated contents. So, one good example ng social media natin is yung mga Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, pwede na rin, and so on, or TikTok kasi high level preferences din sila, and so on. So later pagtapos itong slide na to, i-discuss natin ito yung mga different forms of media na yon. Take note guys, internet users spend more time in social media or social media sites than in other types of sites. Due to this, more and more advertisers use social media to promote their products. So, especially, pag kasi guys, merong high level of interactivity. Katulad ng diniscuss ko nung lesson 1 sa businesses, if there is a high level of interactivity, tinitake yun ng mga businesses natin. For example, okay, nakita ng mga businesses, Okay, so maraming users ang gumagamit nitong social media site na to. Maraming users ang gumagamit ng Facebook. So, magkikreate ako ng advertisement, makikipagtaya pa ako kay Facebook. So, para magkaroon ako ng advertisement sa kanila. At some point, pag nagbabrowse tayo ng Facebook po natin, makakita po tayo ng different advertisement coming from different companies. So, that's one example. Next is YouTube. Of course, we all know YouTube have a high level interference or high level of people na gumagamit sa kanya or high user activity of it. So, kaya 'di ba, yung mga video contents natin, so especially pagka marami na tayong viewers, is nagkakaroon na tayo ng different ads po. And yung ads na po na yon, pagka pinanood nyo ng diretso po, is it can probably promote the business. Also, as you can see sa Instagram, sa Twitter, or even Facebook or YouTube, there are some social media artists or mga sikat na vloggers na nagpa-promote ng mga businesses online, or di kaya nagpa-promote ng mga products, because that is one good example ng pagke-create or pagpa-promote ng businesses or advertisement into others through the use of social media. Mas madaling nakakapag-promote ng businesses. So, there are types of social media. First is yung social networks po natin. These are sites that allows you to connect with other people with the same interest or background. So, yan po si Facebook natin. One good example of this one is Facebook po natin. Bakit? Kasi we do have same interest. For example, sa memes, for example, about sa memes natin, or even about sa mga certain topics, nakaka-relate tayo. So, nakaka-relate tayo at some point. So, that's one good example of social networks po natin. Halimbawa, meron tayong mga sinusuportahan about sa government, meron tayong mga sinusuportahan na government official, and so on and so forth. So, that is one good example of social network. Next is bookmarking sites. These are sites that allows you to store and manage links to various websites and resources. Most of these sites allow you to create a tag that allows you and the other to search or share them. So, one good example of this one is yung ating Pinterest po. Then, there is a social news. These are sites that allows users to post their own news items or links to other news sources. Those who get the most amount of votes are shown most prominently. A good example of this one is Reddit. So, pag halimbawa, maraming user interactivity yung linagay mo sa Reddit, then probably it will be popular. So, maraming makaka-view po nung linagay mo sa internet. Next is the media sharing. So, media sharing are sites that allows you to upload and share media contents like images, music, and video. So, an example of this one is Instagram. So, sa Instagram, pwede po tayo mag-share ng ating music, what do we like, especially sa mga Spotify, pwede tayo mag-share ng music natin, i-story natin sa Instagram, or even videos, and even photos po natin. And that is one good example of media sharing. Nakaya na rin, almost lahat naman to, kayang gawin na ni Facebook. Next is the microblogging. These are sites that focus on short updates from the users. Now, as you can see guys, magkaiba si blogging at si microblogging. Microblogging, an example po an example of this one is yung Twitter po natin. Of course, if you have a Twitter, alam nyo na 250 words lang before ang kayang ilagay ni Twitter. But now, since nagkaroon na siya ng siguro maraming user interactivity, naglimit na siya into 1,000. So, Again, Twitter is considered as microblogging. Next po natin is blogs and forums. These are websites these are websites that allows users to post their contents. Other users are able to comment on the said topic. So one good example of this one is yung mga blogs po natin or sa mga blogger sites po. Now there are different types of OS. There is iOS. This is used in Apple devices such as in iPhone and iPad. Meron din po tayong Android devices. It is an open source operating system developed by Google. Being open source means several mobile phones company use this OS for free. Well, Windows Phone OS, a closed source and proprietary operating system developed by Microsoft, and then the Web OS, the operating system used for smart TVs naman po. Yan naman po si Web OS po natin. Okay? So, as you can see guys, ang familiar na familiar po tayo dito is si Android pati po si iOS natin. Bakit? So, yun yung kadalasan na ginagamit. So, probably, pag tinanong ko kayo, ang isasagot nyo sa akin is, what do you prefer? Kung Android ba or iOS? Of course, Android. But the thing is, sa iOS, both maganda sila. So, free yung mga softwares ni Android, while iOS naman po is hindi may bayad yung mga contents niya. So, the one good thing about iOS naman po is hindi siya prone to viruses, because if free yung mga softwares or yung free yung mga applications na pwede nating i-download through Android po, kadalasan hindi natin alam, baka mamaya yung mga applications na dina-download natin, it can cause viruses sa cellphone natin. That's why there are some, quote unquote, there are some Android phones na hindi masyado nagtatagal because of the free software din. Mas mabilis siya mapasukan ng viruses. While the iOS naman, since protected po siya, since protected po yung mga application niya, you can be guaranteed po na hindi po agad-agad mapapasukan ng virus ang cellphone nyo. So that is the good thing about Android and iOS po natin. So, and that ends our lesson for today.